walker. I feel like I'm slumping over.
Okay, so I've shown you this before, Shlumpasana remedy. I'm going to show it right now. So you need a long belt or strap. Okay, and then I'm actually going to take this off because it's black. Even though I'm freezing, for you guys, I'm going to take it off.
All the days here to go down.
So you get a strap, and it has to be fairly long. All right. You can also order these through Amazon. They're already made up. We've shown this before. So you see how it's right about the tip of my shoulder blades down here, or the bra line on somebody wears a bra. And then you flip it. Oh, oops, I better get this off too. Taking all my layers off for you guys. All right. So then you flip these guys over your shoulders and then crisscross it in the back. Crisscross, like this is an old yoga Iyengar trick for people who are really into alignment. So you see how that's crisscrossed? And then when you pull down on it, it feels really good, and it puts your shoulder blades on the back. And this actually has a clip, which is nice. And then you can pull it around your waist, and you can wear it around or just try it to see where does your posture feel best. I love this. You can buy them already pre-made up, and then you don't have to do all this stuff. There are recordings on YouTube. I also have a recording I can send you on how to do it. And it is in my book, and I think, Ed, you have my book. So we call this Shlumpasana remedy. And so it keeps your shoulder blades on your back. I know a lot of people who walk around their house like this, and it's a reminder too. It's a reminder, and it feels really good. So just showing that it's not part of our class, but it is something that you can use to help you feel your shoulder blades on your back. Just even pulling down on it like this feels really good. So that's that. All right. Any particular questions about posture? We will get going. I want to show you one other thing before we get going, because I love this one too. These do require some of these props. So you can stand against a wall and put a yoga block there in between your shoulder blades. Can you see that? And then you put it against the wall and you lean against the wall. Can you see how it's really nice to lean up against it? You can also do this in a chair. I'm going to show that next. Now, if you don't have a yoga block, you could use one of those little exercise balls. I'll show you what I mean. But this block is placed in between my shoulder blades. It's really nice. This feels really good. I don't really want to move. It feels really good. Here's what it looks like with the ball. Let me get this ball. And this is one of those things you can buy from Amazon that's already made up. This. So the ball can go between your shoulder blades like that too. It's giving you support. It's giving you a little bit of just a teeny. It gives you a sensation that something's touching your shoulder blades and that they're coming onto your back. Now you can do the same thing in the chair. So the ball I think is going to move more, but you could put a yoga block back here, or I've seen people do it with a tennis ball, to be honest. You could use a tennis ball, but something that gives you this. I've also done it with a rolled yoga mat. So you see how it's lifting the spine up like that? So you get the feeling of what does a nice lengthy spine and your shoulder blades on your back feel like. It feels really good. This isn't something that's, what this does is give you the model or the structure for what it feels like. But then we have to learn to hold it without these things too. But part of it is just feeling that support. And then you can use your muscles and move your bones to get into this posture-like position as well. The last thing I'm going to show you, just because I have all these little tricks, I'm telling you, you can use swim noodles. And swim noodles, you can cut them. So if anybody has a swim noodle, you can cut it, fold it, and put that right here on the chair and lean back against that. Now, what we do in class is we'll put a strap or tape around the chair so that it stays. And you can also tape these together so they stay. So that feels good too. And a rolled yoga mat. You got 4 options: against the wall, with a ball or a yoga block, a rolled yoga mat, or a swim noodle. And I'm happy to answer any questions after class. All right. So we'll sit tall in our posture. Now, when we're doing posture in the chair, a lot of times we'll see people and they're just hanging back like this. Now, we know that's not using core. And by the way, when we sit, we're using core. But this is obviously not great posture. I'm leaning back. So you want to be forward on your sitting bones in a more active, alert position. You are coming a little forward in your chair so you're not leaning against something, unless, of course, you've got that yoga block or rolled mat behind there. And then let's take a few breaths in and out while we're in this nice posture. Breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out through the nose. Feel that nice soft air coming in through the nose, belly expands. Oh, your bellies are going to get so filled tomorrow. And then exhale out through the nose and the belly softens down. Breathe in and breathe out. Feel the wave of the belly. Now let's move with breath in our arms. So lower your arms down by your side. Now here we go. This is anatomical neutral. Our palms are forward and our arms are externally rotated. So here's rotated outwards. Here's rotated inwards. See how the shoulders are rounding in? Here's rotated outwards. So with the palms forward, you turn the arm out away from you. And then let's inhale and take the arms out to the side. Beautiful. And exhale, bring your palms together in front of your heart. So this is a wonderful mudra to do around Thanksgiving because it's the gratitude mudra, or a mudra for wishing peace, or in yoga we say namaste, which acknowledges the light in everybody, in ourselves and everyone around us. Let's open up the arms and exhale and lower them down. Inhale, lift the arms, grow open and wide. Take your arms in this big, you're seeing one of your family members you haven't seen in a while and you give them a humongous hug. So take your one arm over the other and give yourself a hug. Imagine you're seeing someone you haven't seen for a while that you miss, and it makes you so happy to see them. And then inhale and open it up. We're wide and open, and exhale, other arm is over, opposite. Give that person, including yourself, a hug. Feel the joy in your body as you give this hug. Breathe in and breathe out. Open up the arms wide. Open up the arms wide. Maybe you bend the elbows and bring your fingertips towards each other. And then exhale and lower the elbows down by your rib cage, by your side. Inhale, they lift up, and maybe you look at your fingertips. And then exhale, elbows bending, hugging in towards your side. One more. Now, maybe the fingertips touch and maybe they don't. Whatever it is, it is. You're just using your range of motion. You're not worrying about anybody else's. And then bring the elbows down. Now take the fingertips forward and your elbows are hugging into your ribs. And let's open up the arms out to the side, right and left. And then exhale and move the arms back to forward as though you were going to, and you're hugging your elbows in towards your ribs. Open it up. So you're feeling the external rotation. I also want you to take your mind's eye to your back and feel which muscles are working. Bring the palms forward and then exhale, open it up. Inhale forward, exhale, open it up. Now, as we repeat this, you might start to feel the muscles working more and more. Forward and open. Let's bring the arms up. Fingertips almost touch, or they do touch. Bring the elbows down. Palms forward, facing each other. Open it up. Lift the arms, elbows bent. Bring it on down. Hug the elbows in. And take your palms forward. Let's bring the arms fully forward. And lift them your height, nobody else's. Don't worry about it. That's right. Lift tall. Now notice if your ribs are going forward. This is also a common thing that happens. People's ribs go forward. See if you can pull them back towards the back of your shirt. And this is not easy, by the way. It takes some time. Take the ribs. Exhale and lower the arms down. I'm just standing so you can see, and I'm also exaggerating. Not everyone takes the ribs forward like that. And now take your hands to the top of your knees or your thighs and round your spine like the cat. Round your spine, chin is to chest. Notice how we're leaning back towards the back of our sitting bones when we are in cat pose. Then we lift up, shoulders move up and back, the heart lifts skyward and the shoulder blades are coming together. Exhale, round, lean back on the tailbone, the sitting bones, and then inhale, lift up. So cat pose is one of those great poses to help to feel how the rib cage and the shoulders move intentionally. Heart lifting, sitting bones back, shoulder blades are coming together, but ribs are forward here. Then exhale, we go into cat and the rib cage moves back and the shoulder blades are actually spreading apart. Let's come back to neutral. Come back to neutral. Now, another thing about posture is, and it's an epidemic, the head coming forward. It's from the texting, the computering. Yes, there is something to do with age and gravity. For every inch we take our head forward, it's said to be 10 pounds. So every time this head goes forward, then these muscles here are getting really tight. So think about lifting tall, like there was a string in the back of your head and it's lift, you just gently pulling that string upward, getting tall, and your ear draping over your shoulders. Let's take our arms forward and lean forward. And then exhale, swing the arms back, lift the heart. Inhale, arms forward, lean forward. Now we're forward on our sitting bones. And then exhale, we're leaning back. Arms move back. Inhale forward. Exhale, take it back. And let's do our first twist. Twisting is so important when it's time to eat at the holidays. Make sure you do twist throughout your day, as long as it's okay. And some people with osteoporosis have to watch these twists and really listen to either a PT or have someone look at you while you're twisting and talk to your doctor about it. But otherwise, we're going to lift tall and we're going to twist from our our navel up. So let's take the left arm, circle it up and down outside of the right thigh. And then take your left arm back behind you. Now the neck turns last in the twist, and you can push your left hand into your right thigh. Take a few breaths in and out and enjoy this twist. So our muscles, or I'm sorry, our organs, they get kind of stagnant, and we are moving them around in a twist. Breathe in. Breathe out, come back to center. Let's circle the right arm up, and then the hand comes outside of the left thigh, and the left arm goes back behind us. We twist from the navel up. Breathe in, and breathe out, and breathe in, and breathe out. You'll notice how you can feel the left shoulder blade come onto the back here. You can also bend your right elbow a little bit as you pull the hand into your thigh, and thigh pushes into your hand. And let's come back to center. Inhale, arms out to the side, find cactus or goalpost, it's football season. And then exhale and tip your fingertips down, elbows lifted. And then inhale, lift them up. So this is another pose where you can feel the shoulder blades moving as you move your arms. Inhale, they lift. And exhale, they lower. Breathe in. And breathe out. And the more you repeat these, the more you feel it. Now your arms might get tired and you need to take a little break. And of course, that is okay. Let it be okay. Let's lift the arms skyward. Beautiful. Take your palms together in front of your heart. If you have a yoga strap, take it, or a cane, that works too, or a stick, or a belt, or a scarf. And let's open up our legs a little wider towards our goddess pose. Heels are in and toes are out. And you're going to find the stance that's right for you. So if this is where you're feeling a stretch in your inner thigh, it's perfect. You want to be right where you're feeling a little stretch, not a strain, not a pain. And then the heels are underneath the knees. So with our strap in our hands, we're going to pull it taut, and it's going to be wider than your shoulders. So about like this. You can start with it wide. You can always go narrower. And then we're going to inhale and lift the strap up. Let's exhale and side bend towards the right. Don't let that strap hit you, ping you. So we're taking our side bend. We're pulling down with the right hand and up with the left. Then push down through your sitting bones, push down through your feet, rise up. So that root to rise concept is also really important for posture, because when we root down through our lower body, we can lift up through the upper half of the body. Let's side bend now towards the left. Now we're pulling the left arm down and the right arm is up. And take a breath in and a breath out. Now to come back up, we're going to push down through our feet and our sitting bones and rise up. Let's take a little break, bring it down. Now notice, how did that feel for you? Now some of you, if your hands are arthritic or sore, you can make a loop like this. If you have something that you can tie like this. This strap is really nice because of the buckle, I gotta say. I don't usually use these, but this is a nice one that I found down here. So you can put your forearms into the strap like this and pull the strap apart. I'm going to make this a little bit tighter. And so like that. So I'm pushing, I'm not even using my hands. We lift the strap up, we pull it apart, and then take your side bend towards the right. So we're still pulling down with the left arm and up with the right. Yeah, I see a few of you swinging one way and the other, and that's great too. So moving towards the left and up, and then towards the right, and press down and rise up. When you push down, your belly tone's another thing important for posture. Posture is like a great topic. Thank you, Ed. Now we're going to side bend towards the left. Breathe in and breathe out. And don't worry about if your elbows are bending. That feels really good too. Inhale up. One more time, side to side. Notice how you can really get into that stretch when you make it more dynamic and you repeat it. Inhale, back to center. Let's lower the arms, take a little break. Take a little break. So sitting tall, let's bring the left foot in and the right foot in. And inhale and lift up our heels. And notice how you might feel like you're lifting up more through your body when you do that. And then exhale and lower the heels down. Inhale, they rise. And exhale, they lower. One more time. Inhale, heels rise. And exhale, they lower. Now, we're going to use the strap. So again, it can be wide. I would start wide because you can always go narrower. You can use the loop or you can hold on to this. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the strap forward, lift it up, and try to get it back behind us and bend our elbows down. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, take it forward. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, we pull the elbows down. Feel your shoulder blades on your back. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, pull down. Lifting up. Exhaling, pull it back and down. So what is this working? It is working our shoulder blades. Once again, we're feeling how when we lift up, we're getting some good movement and length through the body. Shoulder blades are lifting, but then, and they're moving apart. Exhale, we pull down, shoulder blades come together, and elbows can come in even a little bit more towards your side. One more time, lift it up, and exhale, take it down. And just because it's Thanksgiving, let's add in a twist. So arms are forward, holding your strap. Now you're holding it taut. You're holding it taut. Twist towards the right. Keep pulling the tie taut. So you're pulling your right hand a little bit and your left or your forearms if you're in the loop. Inhale, come back to center and twist towards the left. Make sure you're breathing in and out and come back to center. Now, what we just did, and we went up and back, we were wide. If that feels like it's super easy, you can challenge yourself by making it a little bit narrower. If it's not super easy, keep it wide. So make your adjustments. We're going to do one. Taking a little bit narrower, we lift up and exhale, take it back. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we lower. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, pull back and down. All right, let's let that go. So notice we're working the shoulders because they have a lot to do with posture. And so does core. Let's find our triangle pose. So extend the right leg out to the side. And you might make your adjustments in the chair so the chair doesn't cut your inner thigh. And then let's lift up. Take our fingertips either to the back of your head or the top of your shoulders. And tip an elbow down. The right elbow's down. The left elbow's lifting. Lean slightly back if you feel like your head is forward. Lean slightly back. Now you're supporting your head with your fingertips. You're just gently feeling the back of your head touch your fingertips, a little bit of support there. And inhale, rise up. Arms extend out. Spread your fingers wildly. Push your palms apart. And then bring your palms together in front of your heart. Feel the palms touch. Take a breath in and a breath out. Point your right toes away from you. And then inhale and flex them towards you a few times. Notice how you might feel a lengthening and a contracting. So when we point, we're feeling a lengthening generally on the top of the shin. And then when we pull the toes towards us, we're feeling a contraction behind the shin, the calf. And then open up your arms. That's it. Take your fingertips behind your head. Dip the elbow down. And the other up. Lean slightly back. Push down through your left foot and your right heel. Rise up. Open your arms. Spread your fingers. And bring your palms together in front of your heart in this gratitude mudra. Let's bring the right heel back in and move that right leg back to neutral. So when we're standing or seated and we're looking for posture, we want our heels to be about underneath our knees. Rock forward and back on your sitting bones a little bit, just to kind of loosen up, and then circle around on your hips. Breathing in and breathing out. This is always nice. Whenever you feel anything like going on in your lower back, just do some nice little circles. Roll around on your hips, forward and side and back and side, and come back to center. Now let's extend the left leg out. Make your adjustments on the chair. And let's point the left foot and then pull the toes towards us and point it away and pull it towards us and point and pull it on in. Breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. Lift the arm bones up, relax the shoulders. Now notice how your shoulders feel here. Let's externally rotate by lifting the thumb up towards the sky and then back behind us. Feel your shoulder blades on your back. Fingertips come to the back of the head, dipping the left elbow down. Right elbow's lifted. Lean slightly back into your fingertips. See if you can feel your neck and your head be an extension of your spine. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, rise up, extend the arms, and bring the palms back together in front of your heart. Think about something you're grateful for. Feel your warm palms touching, and then open it up. Tip on down. You can always bend your elbows or straighten the arms. Lift up. Press the palms away, and then pull them towards each other. Back to gratitude. Bring the heel in and lift that leg and place it next to the right. And we will move towards our poses on the mat. So if you're joining us on the mat, let's move the chair against the wall. If you're not, you can do some adaptations with the chair. And I'm going to place a blanket. You know the routine. We're going to put a blanket for the knees. And then we're going to bring our props that we need. So you might bring a block with you. And the strap, just so you have it. You never know what's coming up. And then we're going to lower down. Now, what's the posture for lowering down? Well, I would start in mountain pose. If I'm going to take this like this so you can see better, but pretend it's against the wall. And So we want to start by aligning in our mountain pose. And we're feeling the weight in both feet. Then we're going to bend our knees and take our hands to the chair. Now, some of you have different ways of going down. You already know what you're doing to get down. You can ignore me. I've got my hands on the side of the chair. Then I'm going to bend one knee and lower it down, and then the other. So what's nice is before we do something, to think about it, realign. That will help us as we go down. I'm going to move the chair out of the way so that you don't have to look at it. And we're going to go into a little bit of weight bearing and cat and cow on our hands and knees, because that's always a great place to go. We got to strengthen our arms. Now, I'd like to show you this before we do this. So when you take your hands down on the mat, you're going to imagine that you're twisting a can open. I'm sorry, not a can, a jar, the lid. So here's the right hand, twisting the lid open. And then here's the other hand, twisted open. And we're going to do this with the hands on the mat. So you're going to twist the cap to get it off. So what does it look like on the mat? We're putting our palms down. Our fingers are spread. They don't have to be like stress spread, but they're spread. Then we're going to push the finger pads down and try to twist that jar open isometrically. Gives us a little bit of external rotation, shoulder blades on the back, and strengthens our arms. So our knees are under our hips. Our palms are forward of our shoulders. And let's do a cat, round the spine, shin to chest. And then inhale into our cow. Shoulder blades are together. Keep pressing the palms down. Now, if your wrists are sore, you know you have that option to come down onto your forearms or place your hands on blocks. Like this can be very helpful. It sometimes feels better for people. And you can kind of clasp the side of the block with your fingers down, and then you're not dumping into your wrist, because that's why it's often painful, is when we're leaning into the wrist. Then let's come on down to we're going to do a few yoga push-ups to keep us strong. We're going to land down on our belly. So if you know that you have lower back pain, a lot of people like to put a blanket right about underneath their rib cage like this. And so when I land down, so we're going to do a few push-ups. It's actually under my knees right now, but I want it to land under the rib cage. So here we're going to slowly lower down a few inches and then push down and rise up. And then we're going to exhale. We're leaning forward, belly's in, elbows are moving towards the side. Push down, rise up. Building a little bit of strength. And then we're going to exhale. We're going to slowly lower down, and that blanket's going to land underneath the rib cage and maybe underneath the hips a little bit. You can adjust it. That's for if you're feeling any lower back pain. And let's even loosen up the lower back a little bit more. So you can make a little pillow and stack your hands or your forearms, and then rest your forehead on your forearms. And then allow your hips to rock to the right and to the left, side to side, breathing as you move. Breathing as you move. Then come back to center and be right here. I want you to take a breath in and feel your belly push into the mat as you inhale. And then exhale, you're going to feel a little bit of toning at your belly at the end of the exhale. Inhaling, belly expands. Exhaling out through the nose, there's a toning in the belly. Breathe in and breathe out while we're here. So you can keep your hands here. You can bring them down by your side or by your sides of your heart like this, or you can lower them down with the palms up. The shoulders are gonna move up and back. And then we're gonna lift one leg, stretch long through that leg, maybe spread the toes, heart lifting. So we roll the shoulders up and back. And then exhale, lower that leg down, maybe take a little break and lower, and then lift back up. The other leg lifts and lengthens. Breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. And then bring your palms forward, perhaps, or maybe out to the side like a goalpost. This is nice too. And then we're gonna lift, we're gonna draw our shoulders up and back, lift our heart, stretch through our toes, exhale, lower down. So notice it's not a big lift up, it's a teeny little back bend. Shoulders up and back, feel the blades move towards each other. Now some of you might extend your arms forward like so and lift your legs. That's called locust pose. Breathe in and breathe out in your locust pose. And then take a break. Come back to forearms stacked. Relax the head. You can turn the head side to side, to one side or the other. Breathe in and breathe out. Now we're going to lift up and find ourselves towards a child pose. So hips move on back. And elbows can be, arms can be bent or straight here. Just get a nice, maybe rocking forward and back a little bit in your almost child. I call it an almost child pose. If you'd like to go to the full child pose and it's good for your body, great. If not, we just don't go all the way there and we rock forward and back. So your knees are going to be wider than your hips and your toes are together. You're just kind of rocking forward and back here. Or here's our resting child pose. This is more of a resting child pose. And take a few breaths in and out. You can feel your belly expanding towards your thighs in a child pose. Now we're going to do something interesting. We're going to work on posture on our back. And you could do this in bed, but it's generally, you want a harder surface. So you can get some feedback from the earth, but maybe you have a firm mattress. So for posture on the back, and I bring a strap because we're going to do in a block, we're going to do some bridge work and stretching the back of the legs work too. So we're going to lie down on the back. And what generally, and you can start with your knees bent. Your knees bent and they're coming in towards each other. This is constructive rest pose. It's a nice pose to be in, to practice some breathing. And notice which parts of your body are touching the mat. You might feel your shoulder blades. You might feel the back of your head. We don't want the neck flat. We don't want the neck pushing into the mat, the floor of the bed. We want a little curve here. If you don't have a curve, there's a few things you can do. So if you take your hands back here, you should feel space in between the floor and the back of your neck. And you can give yourself a little massage while you're figuring that out. If it feels flat, a lot of times the chin is too far down towards the chest. So lift up a little bit so that your forehead and your mouth and your chin are parallel with the earth. The other thing is sometimes the head is too far back like that. And that also is going to cause the shoulders to not be on the back to round, the neck to kink. Necks don't like that. And the ears are way out of, they're no way near over the shoulders in alignment. So a nice thing to do is you can play, if that's going on, and you can have somebody look at you and kind of tell you too, you can put a blanket under the top of your head, and a lot of times that helps. Now, I know some of you get dizzy and you need to do what you do so you don't get dizzy. But if you don't, please don't bunch up the blanket like this and do that. That will not help your posture. Notice how my head is lifting up. So we want to try to get the ears level with the shoulders. That's where we're going to get posture. Now, the other thing that happens is the ribs lift up. So let's push the ribs down. And now we're going to extend the right leg forward as we push the ribs down. If the ribs lift up like that, say ribs, go down, push down towards the floor. And then let's drag the right heel back in underneath the knee and do the other side. Dragging now the left heel forward. If the ribs lift, push them back down. You can flex the foot. Now let's take both legs, flex the feet. Both legs are long. So basically we're in lying down mountain pose. If the ribs are lifted, push them down, turn the palms forward like we talked about in the beginning of class, anatomical neutral. This is a wonderful place to be. Now we're going to lift our arms up towards the sky and exhale, take them back. If the ribs come up, push them down. You might not take your arms all the way back in order to keep the ribs down. So circle your arms up towards the sky and then take them back behind you, trying to keep the ribs down. You could also hold a block while you do this. Put the block in between your palms. Do this a few times, trying to keep the ribs down. So here's me taking the ribs up, and then here's pressing the ribs back down, and the belly will tone. So that's a really nice thing to do to help you have know where your body should be in space with your posture. Let's go towards a bridge pose, and you might put the block in between your thighs and hug it. Now, the bridges are wonderful because they can strengthen our hips and our hamstrings, and stretch our thighs. They're also really good because we can feel our shoulder blades come on the back. So your arms can be a robot or down by your side or an even cactus. And we're going to push down through our feet and lift the hips upward. Again, try to keep that neck from flattening down onto the mat. And you might walk your arms underneath you. Let's exhale and slowly lower the hips down. And then inhale, they rise up as we push our feet down into the mat. Hugging the block, if you have one in between there. Exhale, lower the hips down. Find a little bit of fluidity here. Hips lifting. Feel the shoulder blades on the back. Hips lowering the hips down towards the earth. Inhale, they lift up. Breathe in. And breathe out. Now, as you push your feet down, feel like you're isometrically pulling your heels towards your hips. You're going to feel some toning in your buttocks and maybe some toning in your hamstrings. And exhale, lower your hips only a few inches. And then inhale and lift them up. Let's do that a few repetitions. Exhale, hips lower. Inhale, they lift up. We're not lowering all the way down. Exhale, lowering. Inhale, lifting. Lower your hips down. Release the block. Give yourself a big hug. Maybe roll around on your spine because it feels super delicious. Super delicious. And then let's stretch our legs. So use the strap or your hands behind your thighs and press the footprint up towards the sky, and then bend the knee towards you. And pushing footprint up towards the sky and exhaling, bending knee towards you. So we're doing a little bit of fluid movement here. And then you decide whether you'd like to hold it as you push your thigh into your hands or strap around foot. Strap around foot, relax that shoulder, that right shoulder down. as you press the footprint up. Now, if you're not feeling anything, but you probably are, you can give a gentle little tug on the strap downwards, and you might start to feel more. Also, notice if your ribs are lifting and press them down a little bit. You also may straighten the bottom leg if you're really flexy. Let's take some time in this stretch because it's so important. You can do this in bed. You can do it in a chair. Make sure you stretch your hamstrings. Relax the jaw. And then release the strap. Let's do the other side. Place the strap around your other foot. Maybe you crisscross. Maybe you crisscross the strap. Maybe your hands are behind your thigh. There's not like one right or wrong, but try not to stress out your shoulders. So if your shoulders are stressing out with the strap, then maybe it's best to put your hands behind your thigh. Just kind of experiment here, and let's bend and straighten. So we bend, maybe the foot is neutral, and then we press up and we flex the foot, heels up, toes are towards you. Ooh, stretch behind the leg. Exhale, we bend. Inhale, we straighten, bending and straightening, and kind of easing into the stretch behind our leg. And make sure you're breathing. I like to imagine my breath is painting the back of the leg, and it's just like softening, lengthening. And then you may straighten the bottom leg, but that's only if you feel like you need a little bit more. If you're already feeling a stretch, you don't need any more. And then we're going to release that and let it go. Let it go. I'm going to put the strap to the side here. And let's do a thigh stretch because that's so important. When we're sitting a lot, these guys get so tight. So you can either be on your belly or on your side and relax your ear down on your bent arm. And then we're going to pull the knee in and grab our ankle or our foot and then kick it back. And that's where we're getting the stretch right here. You want to keep the knee down so it's lining up with your hip and press it back. The other way to go is to be on your belly in like a sphinx pose, or like we were relaxing down, bending the knee and grabbing the foot. You can also use a strap around your ankle to extend your arm towards your foot. We call it an extension with the strap around. Most people would rather grab their pant leg though, like that. I've seen all kinds of contraptions, but this is what it looks like. I'll just show you so you know. And we'll go towards the. So I've got the strap around my foot and then I'm kicking back like that. I honestly think grabbing the pant leg is probably easier and not so cumbersome. And then we want to do the other side. So you can just roll over onto your other side. Relax your head down. If you're on your side, if you're on your belly, you could still relax your head down, your forehead on your hands, or you could be lifted on your forearms. And then we grab our ankle and kick the leg back. And that's going to stretch the front of this thigh. We're pulling the heel towards our buttocks, but we're also kicking away at the same time. That's an isometric. So again, we don't want the knee up there. We want the knee down here. Now, this is another place where the ribs might jut forward. So pull them back, and that's actually going to change the stretch for you. Now we're going to extend the legs. We're going to go back onto our back for our last spinal twist. So we're on our back. We bring our knees in towards us, and to get a nice hip opener there, straighten your right leg and then let your left knee fall over to the side and your arms are in cactus. This is a wonderful place to stretch the front of the chest. You may turn your head the opposite way of the knee. You also may place a block underneath, like so. And breathe right here in your twist. Now you could do these in bed. You also can do the traditional twist, which is knees together. Now, if your knees don't come all the way down, you could put a pillow or blankets underneath your knees. Feel some nice full breaths in your twist. And then when you're ready, switch sides, bring your knees up. A lot of times it's helpful to switch your hips towards the right as your knees go down towards the left. So choose the twist that's best for you. Try to straighten your spine so that your torso is in line with your hip. If it feels like it's like that, then move it over. You can always do a little bit of squirming around to get yourself straightened up. And you may have your left hand on your right knee, the top knee. You may turn the head towards the right when your knee is to the left. Now I can feel this side is more open. I'm not feeling as much as a stretch as when I was twisting the other way. So that's just something to notice. Take some full breaths. Now, a full breath in a twist is a little different than a full breath when we're neutral with our spine and mountain pose or constructive rest pose. And then come on out of it and find your relaxation pose. So we're going to let all that stuff go. I'm a little chilly. I'm going to put my jacket on. You might want to put a blanket over you. You want to get comfortable. Again, when you're lying down, you want the blanket maybe under your head, but just a little bit of a lift rather than tilting your chin towards your chest. So that's flattening the neck. We want the chin to be about neutral, but it's really going to depend on your body. So some people need to tilt their chin slightly up and some people need to tilt their chin slightly down. But you can kind of take your fingers behind your neck and make sure you feel a nice curve there rather than a flattening or pressing down. So you may rest in constructive rest with your knees bent, or you might take your legs long, or you might take a bolster and put it under your knees like that. And that's nice too. Doesn't have to be a fancy yoga bolster, by the way. It could be pillows. And find your way to your resting pose. So the holidays tend to be a busy time, but we do want to give ourselves time to restore and rest so we can be fully present with our loved ones for this unique gathering. We're softening our breath. We're letting our legs just flap open. Resting the head. Soft breath. Now your hands can be on your belly, or we could be in that anatomical neutral with the palms down and feeling the shoulder blades come together with this external rotation. So our arms are open. The underside is facing upward. The hips are relaxing. The abdominal organs are relaxing. That's quite a practice too. Because if we're holding them, sometimes the digestion gets a little stagnated. Relaxing the back of the knees on the bolster. Relaxing the legs and the feet and the toes and the fingers. Breathing in and breathing out. Relaxing in your resting pose. And I have to mention that doesn't mean you have to be fully still. If you feel that you need to move, then please do. It's your practice. It's your relaxation pose. Stay as long as you want. I'm going to roll over and come on up to close our practice together this day before Thanksgiving. And so posture, in our seated posture, we might sit up on a block or a blanket to help lift our hips so that our hips are higher than our knees. And we'll bring our palms together in front of our heart as we bow in with gratitude for the many, many blessings in our life. We'll express gratitude for this body, for the food on our table today and on the holiday. Sending this feeling of gratitude out to others and feeling it within our body. We bow down. We reflect the light to each other. Thank you so much for being with me today. Thank you for the Michigan Parkinson Foundation supporting our time together. Namaste, everyone. Have a wonderful holiday. I'm here for any questions you might have.